Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fantastic show of the Holy Name and its glories. And the star of our show is Radha and Krishna. They're behind the scenes, watching everything and empowering everything. And it's not just a picture. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Right, Amy? Amy Rose. Amy's our rose. She's a beautiful red rose. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. See, a rose on top of Radha's head. That's Amy. She's right there on top of Radha's head. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Lalita, welcome. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Tuka, welcome, Tuka. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Anybody wants to come on and chant, you can come online there. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Govinda, welcome. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Bo Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Welcome there. All our friends are coming together. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. You can take your mics on and you can all chant Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. You can put your microphone on there, Lalita.
Okay.
Hare
Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna.
Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari
Krishna
Hari
Krishna,
Hari
Hare.
Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hari
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hari Hari
Krishna
Hari
Krishna, Hare.
Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari
Rama
Hari
Rama, Hare.
Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Hari Hari
Hare.
Hari Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hari
Hare.
Hari Hari Rama Hari Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama.
Hari 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 Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hari
Hare
Hari Hari Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Hari
Hare Rama,
Hari
Hare
Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hari Rama Hari Rama
Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Hari Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hari
Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hari
Krishna
Hari
Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Ah,
Rama Rama,
Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hari
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hari
Krishna
Hari
Krishna,
Hari Hari Rama 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 Hari
Hare
Hari
Rama,
Hari
Hare
Krishna
Rama.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Rama Rama,
Krishna Hari
Hare.
Hari Hari Rama Hari
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hari
Krishna,
Hari Hari Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Hari
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama Hari
Rama
Hari
Rama,
Hari
Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Rama Hari
Hare
Hari
Rama,
Hari
Hare
Krishna
Rama. Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare.
Hari 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 Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna.
Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama
Krishna
Hari
Krishna,
Rama
Hare.
Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama.
Krishna Krishna Hari
Rama Rama, Hare.
Hari Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari
Hare
Hari
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hari
Hare.
Hari Hari Rama Hari
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama.
Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hari
Krishna,
Hari
Hare.
Hari
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama. Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hari
Krishna.
Hari Hari Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hari
Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama Hari
Rama
Hari Hari
Rama, Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Hari Hari Hari
Krishna
Rama Hari
Krishna,
Rama
Hare.
Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama.
Krishna Krishna Hari
Rama
Hari
Rama,
Hari
Hare.
Rama Rama Rama
Hare
Hari Hari.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Let us know how many people are here in the chat. So say Hare Krishna up there because it says 0 people. I don't think they're 0. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
You mean
Rama
Facebook?
Rama. You guys don't have to worry about that. I'm talking about the people in the audience.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare.
No, don't worry about it. I'm talking to the Facebook people. Just keep laughing. Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare. We need more joy and we need more joy. I have to restrain myself here. I'm in a public place, man. You know? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I have people all over the place here, man. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. I have to act like Prabhupada today. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Hare, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama Rama
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Rama Hare
Rama, Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare, Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama Rama Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Krishna
Rama, Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
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 Krishna, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, we're going to read a little bit now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We're going to share with the new people coming here why we're chanting here. So, let's see, Bhagavad Gita we'll read. Bhagavad Gita, and this is going to be Bhagavad Gita. Oh, wrong book. There we go. Okay, we're going to go to. Okay, this is contents of the Gita summarized. Yes. So this is Bhagavad Gita. We might have some new people coming more nowadays. So a lot of people have not even heard of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita means Song of God. Song of God. So yeah. So this is the Song of God is basically is the words of the Lord. It's actually like a song to persons who become attracted to spiritual words. It's like a song to their heart. It really is. You really feel like, wow, this is so different. This is so amazing. These words, the words of the scriptures. I remember I experienced that even with the Bible. The words in the Bible when I first read them and I felt them. I actually felt them. They were like unbelievable. It's like, wow, this is so true. See, this is truth. It's like that. It's the most amazing thing in the world. So, Song of God. So this is the truth spoken by the Lord, and so a question might be, because again, I don't even like to use the word God so much because it's been misused by people who can't appreciate um, who and what God is. Actually, they don't even know, and they say, "Oh, this God," people, they're controlled by the popes. They believe that whatever they say they got to do. It's like like God has become like a manipulator. You know, he wants to kill people. He wants to cause genocides. Um, but it's not really true. This is why when Jesus came, if you notice, if you can see into the heart of the scriptures of the Bible, is Jesus said, the Lord's heart is filled with mercy. Not punishment, not genocides and all that. That's these demons, the demons who misrepresent God. The demons in the Middle Ages, they were the Catholic Church. They came in and they did witch hunts, and killed so many people. They had these wars. See, these are people misrepresenting this wonderful term, this wonderful being called God who just wants to help everybody. That's why he came. Again, 550 years ago is this incarnation called Lord Chaitanya. So merciful. And that's what we're seeing here now. If people would come and listen, even in ISKCON and all these groups, they're not representing the Lord as good as he could be represented. As merciful as he could be represented, as merciful as here. You show me. You want to know where you're going to see God? Where is the most mercy being shown? Where is the most freedom being shown? Where's the most sovereignty? Where's the most happiness being shown? I only see here, really. Where's the most spirituality being shown? Where's the most deepest understanding of truth? The essence of all truth being shown. I only see here. I mean, to be perfectly honest, without exaggerating, without bullshitting or lying or cheating people. Where's the most authenticity being shown about, where freedom is? I only see here, So maybe this is the only place to go, to find that. You want to find out where God is, you come and listen for a month or two and see if it come as an atheist. I'd like to see if an atheist will be convinced there is a God, you know. God being, the great mystery. Okay. Now, how would you like to have such a great mystery of God that nobody really knows revealed? How would you like to have an encounter with the Lord to find out, wow, you mean there is a spiritual dimension, man? And I'm in it now. you know, that kind of stuff, That's Bhagavad Gita. This starts out like this, Arjuna was mind was blown. People, if you come here, your mind will be blown. You're literally, you'll see that, my God, everything people are worried about is you don't have to be worried about. You don't have to cry over this people in the world. You don't have to be in fear. People coming in here, they're just walking right up in fear, Like they're little, they're afraid. See, why? Because they don't really know God. And these are pious people. I know these people walked up, with the little thing. They go to church. I could tell, these are pious people, but they're misled, misled by these ministers. They're misled by the government. See, why? Because they just can't help people very well. You got to go people who actually know God, actually have an experience of what God is. God is the truth, man. God is the spirit. Like the Lord came here 5,000 years ago and taught Bhagavad Gita. And so this is where we're going to start, right from the beginning. Contents of the Gita summarized. Where else should we start? Right from the beginning. This is awesome. It's a story everybody should hear now. Even after 5,000 years ago, people still don't know the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Even the Vaishnavas, they've 40 years. I'm not this body class. They still think they're this body. They're afraid. They got their mass and they're going up, lining up for the injection, man. Can you imagine? Even the Acharya Dave. What kind of Acharya Dave are you telling people to get poison put in their body? What kind of illusion have you been dissipated? Can't you see who's directing things now? Can't you see the demons are just, the mode of ignorance and passion is in charge? Yeah. And leading people off the plank, See, pirates, you know what they do? The pirates are in charge, man. They lead the people off. Hey, you go step off in and go into the ocean, man, and drown people. That's what's going on here. So the leaders, even in the church, the complaints, those who actually have the real spirit. See, God is spirit, man. You got to find people in touch with the real spirit. Spirit is subtle, man. So subtle. Uh, yeah, they're the only ones who really know. Really. So most people in charge, they don't know. They just don't know what's really what. Anyway, we'll start in Bhagavad Gita here, first chapter. Let's see here. This over here. Yeah. Sanjaya said, okay, so for the new people, again, this is a story on the battlefield. So Krishna representing, see, these stories are, like I was talking to Lulita a little bit about this, these stories represent the esoteric truth, esoteric, deep mysteries. Esoteric means mysteries, and they're in the Bible and the Vedas are all these stories, and they're esoteric truths. And if you see what they represent, you can understand what life is really about. So Krishna represents God. It means the higher dimension of consciousness, the most highest potential that any human being can reach. So in this form of a story is Krishna. you know and the realization, like Jesus in the transfiguration, he goes onto the top of the mountain, and they see the angels coming down upon him, and he's on the top of the mountain. I even had that in a dream in 1972, right before I had the experience. The same thing. I had a vision, not even a dream, it was a vision, the vision of the transfiguration, literally. And how that showed up was not in like a story of Jesus going to the mountain, you know, and then he sees Moses up there, and the disciples, actually, they saw what Jesus was seeing. They said, look, Moses is up there, he's carrying tablets, walking down, and Jesus up on the mountain. I had that in a vision, literally, of leaving. I realized that these stories are representing our human potential. Like they talk about in the people that know about yoga, they talk about the seven chakras system, and how the energy moves in the chakra system. And I experienced it, when I had this awakening. So the story of an awakening, and it got into the heart chakra and exploded, and all my cells went into an ecstasy of union with God. Literally, with this God. I didn't, it's like people say God. Well, who is God? What is it? Well, Jesus called it the Father, and I realized, yeah, you see, even that is an analogy of an experience. Yeah, you need that story to somehow understand that the Father is the Father of everything, Father of all of us. See, and I experienced that, but it wasn't like the Father in the world type of Father. You could see he was in every atom and in everything. See, and we were part of that, but we weren't the Father. The Father was a Father in everything, and we're, like rays connected to that. See, human words cannot express the encounter that you have, but they can give you an idea of what it is. So that's why their stories are here. So Krishna Bhagavad Gita was spoken on a battlefield. What an appropriate place to realize the truth, because that's exactly what it's like, man. It's a battlefield here. I had to get where I'm at, wherever that is, well, I know where it is, but to a point. But to get to this place, it was a battle, man. And anybody that's coming now, they battle. There, it's a battle. It was a battle for Lalita, to get where she's at, and Govinda. Everybody's dealing with like forces inside to reach God or this great mystery, you know. And even once you reach it, then there's this bit of a battle for a while too. The battle with conditioning, the battle with our humanity, actually. Sometimes it gets in the way, and that's what was happening here. So, see, Krishna um, and Arjuna. So, this is a story of Krishna, who represented God, and Arjuna, who represents a devotee of the Lord, or a part and parcel, or son of God. See, it represents these kind of things. So Krishna begins to instruct Arjuna about who he really is, and he had to battle his human misunderstanding. Even in the religion, he had to battle religion, because Arjuna was attached to what's called the Dharma Shastras. It's like, if you're a good person, you can eventually attain God. You know, And that's basically what they teach in religion. Be good, and that good is God. God is goodness. As a matter of fact, I heard this morning, people still believe that, and that's okay to a point, but it's still not the great mystery revealed. There's that's only part of it. Matter of fact, you're not even, there's always this fight of good and evil. And just like you can't say evil is God, you can't say good is really God. And this is the paradox. And you can also say it is God. See? But you cannot resolve this until you have deep encounters with God and went through all the confusions, all kinds of experiences, and finally making it to that point of an encounter with the Lord who is transcendental to all of it. And so this story is all about finding the true Lord who exists eternally, and those who begin to encounter that Lord are finally like, you see, Lalita's like, you can feel it. Govinda too. It's like home free. Now we're really moving, right? Now we're going play. Now we're getting a glimpse and then being slapped down again, and then getting up and slapped down again. It starts to get really good. And that's where a lot of us are already. You start to break through. It's like a little sprout breaking through the ground. Somebody mute your mics now. Mute your mics, please. It's like a sprout breaking through the earth. See? And then it gets into the sunlight. See? And now it's getting nourished. And the dirt is not like hindering it now. See? Now it's growing. See, it's pulled up, and it's breaking free of the earth. Well, some of us are doing that. And it's amazing. Like just chanting, in the last year or two is just getting better and better, and it's breaking through. Is it less obstructions? See? And this is very encouraging and very important for people to have, is this kind of thing. I don't have to get these obstacles here. Well, maybe it's not if he plays softly or something. Maybe it can be let's see. So anyway, Bhagavad Gita here. So Arjuna, so I might even not even read this thing. I might just tell, like, just spontaneously here. So Arjuna is here. He's faced with this battle, and he's a bit confused because he's studied the Shastras and he's been told he should be a good boy. He should never kill. Thou shalt not do this and thou shalt not do that. Kind of like the Old Testament, and but he's faced. He has to fight. He's a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is a warrior. Yeah. So anyway, Krishna now starts to instruct him that Arjuna, basically, I want to tell you a new secret. Basically, there is no death. It's all an illusion. It's just a body that dies, and you and everybody else in this world have been identifying this as the self. But it's, those who realize the higher consciousness, that's above the solar plexus, they realize eternal things. See, the whole problem with the world, and that's the friction we have now of good and evil, is people are still in the lower chakras. See, but in the levels of control, see, is the solar plexus is control, and survival. You notice about safety, everybody's afraid that they're gonna not survive because they say, oh, it's your body's gonna die, the corona is after you, man, it's running after you, put your little mask on, it'll protect you, even though it won't. It's a lie, but they know people are afraid bodily. See, they're in the lower chakras. That's why you see when you're with higher conscious persons, and that's what Krishna represents is the higher consciousness. He represents like Big Brother. See, so it's a war of big brothers. Like Saint Paul said, this is not a flesh and blood war. It's a war of principalities. It's a war of big brothers. The big brother in the government. George Orwell, 1984. There's Big Brother there, right? And then there's Big Brother. Those you see, persons. Here, the government are people, right? And there's the elite, the 1%. And hey, man, let me tell you, you think 1% is a few people? Hey, there's less than 1% of big brothers nowadays in the spiritual ones, in the spiritual field. See? So this is a war of big brothers. So don't worry about the flesh and blood. It's the spiritual against the material, basically. See? And that's why you see the good people, the good the good book, it's the good interpretation of Bhagavad Gita by the good people, see, who are fighting the evil, that kind of thing, and the good devotees fighting the evil, it's not strong enough. It ain't the real good book. It's not the real war yet. See, the war of principalities is the big brother, which is a spiritual big brother. That's the one Krishna or his representative, the real one. Okay. And then there's the government. And then there's the government included is religion. And that's called the Jaipatakas and the Radhanas and all of that. They're still there, they're all part of it, religion and the world, they they all have to be instructed by the big brother, and that's the one who is really connected to the spiritual dimension of consciousness. I didn't know this was going to be this good, man. I love these kinds of things. Amazing, spontaneous, man. That's the no, but this kind of stuff you just don't hear anywhere, man. See, so Krishna represented Big Brother, and you see, Big Brother to who? Arjuna. See, Arjuna is like people in the world. They're at a crossroads. What do? Do we listen to the government? People in general are even losing faith in that. Well, God, I'm still getting corona even though I got 5 booster shots. I'm still getting corona even though I'm wearing my mask religiously now. I'm getting sick from wearing the mask. Can I really trust Big Brother or the government? Or can I trust Big Brother of religion? The Acharya Dave said to go get this, and he tells them you put this on and that, and it's not working. I'm getting sick anyway, or maybe more sick. Can I trust Big Brother in the government? I mean, in the religion? Maybe you need a real savior now. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to hear from a Krishna and Krishna's representative? Are you ready to hear from Krishna's representative what Krishna really said? Are you fed up with Acharya Dev's explanations that don't work? Have they gotten you the desired result that they're getting here? You see, people got love of God here. Can you see? Can anybody in Acharya Dev's or Radhana's group chant like Lalita Ganga or Johan or Janaki or Govinda? Or River or any of so many people here? Are anybody getting the desired result of religion, of Krishna consciousness, of bhakti yoga, is love of God, where you can visibly see that they're broken through? Are you ready to listen to Big Brother now on the spiritual dimension that is proving to get the desired result of ecstatic devotion? Realizing the confidential truth about that there is a God and that God is beyond good. Good results are not good enough, man. Wow, man, they make a nice dish here. Talk about mode of goodness, man. You should see what they're making, man. Sometimes to praise the mode of goodness is nice, especially when you're a little hungry, man. They made a waffle like I've never seen before, man. It looks like it should be an art piece. I'll take a picture of it. I'll show it to you because I can't move the camera. You don't just see waffles like this. Do a close up on that. That's a very beautiful waffle, isn't it? I took a picture of it. Let's see if I can. There you go. Maybe you can see this. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, so Krishna is acting as Big Brother to enlighten Arjuna to the deeper truth about who we really are, which is spirit. And even Jesus was trying to do that. He said, spirit, it's all about spirit. Spirit is eternal. Spirit is real. See, all these stories, all these sayings are leading to understand spirit. And you got to hear from Big Brother. Those when Arjuna was here, he needed to hear from a higher conscious personality represented as Krishna. Krishna represents the Lord. Now, the Krishna is not manifest, so the all alternative to hear from his Big Brother is the spirit they call spiritual master, or the person who has attained this higher consciousness, which is an intimate relationship with God, with this transcendental Lord. You need to hear from people who have experience of that, not those faking it till you make it types. You know, well, yeah, let's fake Big Brother, even though we don't know Krishna. We just know, well, he's a good God, and we'll preach a good God. We'll preach rules, regulations, and ceremonies and external stuff. You know, we'll preach about God is a material form. See, he's the deity. You know, he looks like, this picture. Look at you see the picture of these persons there. That's what they think God is, a picture instead of the actual person, the living person. When Krishna was here, he was a living person. He was instructing Arjuna, a living disciple. The same thing now. You need a living person in that consciousness of the Lord, which they get by being truly intimate with spirit. And that spirit can teach you something. Otherwise, people who see the world is the mundane representative of that transcendental Lord. You need the spiritual representative of that Lord. You notice Biden and all these communists, they want to be Big Brother, right? They want to make you create a nanny state, right? They want to instruct you. They want to teach you and tell you what to do. And they do that in religion too. They want to tell you what to do. And see, they want to govern you with rules and regulations. It's just maybe religion is maybe a step up, from the world. They also want to mandate you, right? You have to. You do it this way, one way for everybody, right? The same thing in Krishna consciousness, as it was taught by Prabhupada. Everybody's got to chant the same number of rounds. Everybody's got to be a vegetarian. Everyone, doesn't matter if you've got different makeup of your individual needs or any. Everybody's got to eat sugar. Everybody's got to eat that kind of prasadam. Everybody, nobody can do yoga, right? It's everything cookie cutter, and they want to do in the government the same thing. They want a whole government. Everybody got to do the same. Everybody got to, even though it's not good for everybody. Everybody's got to do it. What kind of life is that? I mean, are you ready for this? Anybody? Whoever is, come here, man. You'll be an individual, man. Treat you individually. You want to be governed by who I'm governed by? I'm here to teach people and share with people. You can be governed by who I'm governed. My governor is very liberal. My governor is freedom personified. I'm sovereign in 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 Krishna, in Radha, in Lord Chaitanya, in the truth has given me sovereignty. But if you don't have the truth deeply, you'll never be sovereign. Your ignorance will stop you. Okay? That's why I've accepted coming in a lineage with living beings. Luckily, luckily I had this from a last life because I brought it in and the book was enough to get me through. Because I certainly couldn't find one living being, not one guru, not even that Narayan Raj, not even one Radhakund Babaji could get me here through this better than Prabhupada in his book. You know? But if you try to do that, you'll be one of the Ritviks who still can't get through, and they're still mean and hard-hearted and lack the ecstatic love and true knowledge that comes from that. So you didn't make it through, and you Ritviks need somebody like this. That's why here, anybody who realizes here what's really going on and then gets personal realization in your next existence, whether you come back here or wherever you go, you've made it, man. You retain your devotion, and it just awakens, just like I did with the book Bible. Immediately had experience of the kingdom of God. With Prabhupada's book, same thing. Immediately the kingdom of God. See? Bhakti Vinod was the same way. Prabhupada was the same way. They're all the same way. That's why they come as teachers now. Okay? And people coming here, you will be like that too. But you know what? If you're not like that now, and you don't come, you won't be like that. You need to have that living guru unless you're like that now. See, that's that verse in what Prabhupada said, either the book Bhagavat and or the devotee Bhagavat is competent to get you through the obstacles. But if you don't get through the obstacles with the book Bhagavat, you need the devotee Bhagavat. That's what I found from experience. I was looking for the devotee Bhagavat also, like Gaur Govinda was. Luckily, he found one. See, Prabhupada was on the planet. But after Prabhupada left, I couldn't find one. Narayan Raj wasn't that. He was, he was a good guy. I mean, he's nothing. I'm not saying that he was bad. He was good, but it ain't good enough. People thought it was transcendental. It was as best liberation. There was an energy. It was a liberation type thing, but it wasn't like this. No way. And proof is he did not distribute this kind of bhakti. He was not authorized to do it. He obviously knew because he said, "Oh, I'm not here. I can't do this. You can't be like me." Many lifetimes before you'll get this prema, what he thought he had some kind of prema. I don't know. Never showed it. It was always, look at me. I can't show it, man. So nobody knows. But I know personally because I know it would come in the realization. It would be at least as good as Prabhupada, and it wasn't. See? And they all think it is. That's contamination. Jadharani, or Shamarani now her name is, she doesn't know. She thinks it's the same as Prabhupada. Sorry, you missed the boat. She's going to die without understanding that. And that's what happens when you mix. And that's why I don't teach that. I don't teach you mix worship of liberated souls on the level who are real associates of Lord Chaitanya with those who aren't. Okay? That's why she'll die without real love of God. And people are getting it here. It comes down to that, really. It's subtle. An associate of Lord Chaitanya is very rare. That's why they must be sent here. And you're lucky, kiss the ground if they're teaching like we're teaching what Lord Chaitanya taught, the postgraduate course. Didn't Prabhupada say Chaitanya Leela was postgraduate? Didn't he say? Okay. He didn't teach the post. I mean, he did some classes and stuff, but he's not. This was given for us. Prabhupada came to me to teach the postgraduate course. Okay? And if you don't learn that, who's going to teach you? You think Acharya Dev is going to teach you? He can't. Radhanath, they can't teach you any of this. Look, you guys got love of God. None of them have. Not even the gurus, not even their disciples. Not even one. Not even one of Narayan Raj. I seen them. I met them. I talked to them. I slept in their ashrams. Not even one has this. I was bored listening. You'll never hear a class like this in any. You'll be long classes and all these dancing with the words and everything, but no ecstatic devotion like you see here. No rock solid truth like here that comes from real bhakti. No bhakti Vedantas there. Not even one Vedanta that comes from bhakti. The closest they got was one of the disciples I had that stayed with me for 3 months, a hardcore Mayavadi that finally broke through after 3 months of intense preaching. And then one of the guru, wannabe gurus there, spoke to her, and then she had some ecstatic love awaken because she was already broken through. And then he was made guru. See, always on somebody else's, on somebody else's strength. See, they cannot do it on their own. See, that's why they always need the guru's buildings. They always need the guru's money. They always need the guru's books. They always need the guru's everything because they can't do it on their own. You think any of those persons would be real gurus without having the inherited Prabhupada's buildings and all that stuff and temples and all? No, not even one. That's why they have to depend on all that. But all the real devotees, that's why the Lord Krishna, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why Krishna has all these, the real acharyas start from scratch. He wants to show. Even look at Arjuna. He had a small army. Krishna said, I'm giving my whole army, my huge army of Dwarka. I'm giving it all to the opposite. Whoever doesn't choose me gets all of that. See? That's how it is. Oh, you guys don't want the kingdom of God. You want to be gurus, huh? Okay, there you go. Take Prabhupada's buildings, take all of that stuff. And you watch, in due course, is just like what Bhaktisiddhanta did. You could say the same thing here. Oh yeah, Gaur Hari will do everything at the appointed time. See, same thing, right? I didn't go for the guru. I never even thought about it. I was too busy having a great time with Krishna and Radha and Lord Chaitanya and relishing Prabhupada's books and the Goswami books. I was, just going in and then spontaneously one comes. See, always one by one. Then another comes. Then Prabhupada comes. Then Krishna comes. Prabhupada comes, now you do this. Now you do this. Same, right on the same seat, same height, everything. Now this is given to you. It's always the Lord Chaitanya teaches real religious principles through a low-class, fourth-class person. See, a real good spiritual master and acharya is self-effulgent, not from their false egos effulgence. No, because they're effulgent because of being deep into Krishna and Krishna deep into them. That's that kind of effulgence. Closeness, man, intimacy. So intimate when you see them, it's like, my God, I'm seeing the Lord. Really, it's got to be like that. Where do you see that? Okay? That's why Prabhupada taught. You don't appoint an acharya, they're self-effulgent. They appear at the will of Krishna. Okay? Carpenter appeared. Where did Jesus appear? Out of nowhere. Where did Prabhupada appear? Out of nowhere. Even the God brothers. Where did he come from? Bhaktisiddhanta, same thing. He rented a little house and boom, 60,000 disciples. But that's on Vaidhi. Here, if you make 10 people who have realized Krishna like you guys and Radha, oh, this is amazing. Bhakti Siddhanta and Prabhupada said, if I can make one devotee like this, we have many already, and they're going to pop up more one by one with the right understanding to prove to the world, prove to these Acharya Devs where Krishna's really working in this world. Because if you can figure that out, you will get Krishna, and otherwise not. You'll be bamboozled by all external things, external bhakti, external gurus, external teachings, all the pomp, all the big degrees, all the big bhakti vedantas, and you can't even find one bhakti vedanta except here. We make bhakti vedantas. People's vedanta comes from their bhakti. That's what it's supposed to be, for God's sake, man. So that's contents of the Gita summarized in essence. Because everybody, if you everybody needs this kind of instruction. You need see, there's the book Bhagavad, and people say, should I? They want to read it directly, but man, you got the opportunity to hear this stuff. You got the opportunity to hear this, like Arjuna heard this. If you hear, it's just you're no different. If you've gotten to the point where you're willing to hear and not think, well, I'm just going to read Bhagavad Gita directly, or I'm going to go to Acharya Dev because he has the biggest title. Why should I hear from Gaurahari? He doesn't have a title as big as, see, all that external. That's what my ex-wife did. She left here. Well, and my other disciple, they both left because, Gaurahari, you only have a few disciples, man. My new gurus, they got thousands. They must be more bona fide than you. See, if anybody comes and is convinced, and you listen here, you're become like an Arjuna, man. It's like you're in the living pastimes, and you guys doing that know exactly what I'm talking about. You're just like listening to Krishna, who is Krishna saying, Arjuna, because you're my friend and my disciple, I'm going to tell you confidential things, and you're going to get it. You're going to love this stuff. And nobody else will, because they won't do it. They rather listen to the Acharya Dev with the big title and the big, nice devotee, and all the big following that they took from Prabhupada. They'd rather listen from those guys and not from a person who starts from scratch, that doesn't have anything except the truth of ecstatic devotion and real clear understanding coming from it. They don't want to hear from anybody like that, do they? Except you guys. And then you get the smiles on your face, you get ecstatic, because you're like Arjuna now in a living pastime. Life, Krishna was living, Arjuna was living, you're living, and the guru who is close to Krishna is living, speaking to you. It's just like Krishna speaking to you. It's true. It's got to be like that. Otherwise, you haven't found the real guru. If it's not like that, you haven't found the real guru, the real Acharya, the real spiritual master. It's got to be like you're on that battlefield, which we are, and you're like Arjuna. Not Arjuna, no imitation. And the guru is not imitating Krishna or Prabhupada. They're like that. Okay? I don't need to depend on, well, actually, I'm an incarnation of Prabhupada or incarnation of Rupa Goswami, incarnation of Jesus. No. I've got the same God behind me, like Prabhupada, Jesus did, and all of that. It's got to be like guru is one. You got to find that one guru, where God is really using them, Of myself, I can't do this. It's always the same teaching. They all say it. I say it. Rupa Goswami said it. Ramananda Roy said it. Jesus said it. Prabhupada said, don't think I wrote these books. They're dictated by Krishna. I just took the dictation. And don't think I'm just speaking on my own. These are dictated words. I'm just looking through at the teleprompter. There's a transcendental teleprompter here, and I'm seeing it. You cannot imitate. I cannot do this alone. There's a flute and a flautist. You know, what you hear is all spontaneous, man. Nothing to do with anything. And then you judge if it's true. I mean, you go and you check the books and see, is it real? Is Gohari, is he authorized? Is this real love of God that he's got? These chanting, is it communicable to his disciples? Are they getting real love of God? Like the book says, it's all checkable. Everything they're teaching is not checkable except in their checklists. Oh yeah, you can check it off. You see, this is the real thing. It's not in the book. It's in their checklist. That's called an illusionist. Creating illusions for people who are not so, they're not going through the process like you have. It's the whole world's like that. Everyone is unique, yeah. Okay. Okay, you know what? I think that's about it because my battery is out and I don't have my charger. I got the computer. I'm doing it on the computer. Okay, so we'll end it here. Sorry about that. And I gotta end the stream right away, otherwise I'll lose the whole thing. Okay, Hare Krishna.